A top officer of the National Stock Exchange arrested last night in a stock market manipulation case is believed to be the mysterious Himalayan Yogi who allegedly influenced many decisions taken by the former chief of India's biggest stock exchange, Anand Subramaniam. The former chief operating officer of the NSE was the Yogi who communicated with the then stock exchange boss Chitra Ramakrishna through email. The CBI sources have said so today. We have my colleague Arvind Gunasekar joining us. Arvind, after that arrest made last night, now the faceless Yogi has been identified.
Yeah, Divya, the Central Bureau of Investigation has cracked the identity of this faceless Himalayan Yogi who was communicating with the then chief of National Stock Exchange, that is Chitra Ramakrishna. So the Central Bureau of Investigation, after taking cognizance of the SEBI's report, expedited this particular investigation. The agency which initiated in 2018, the Central Bureau of Investigation in 2018 had registered an FIR into the alleged irregularities in National Stock Exchange. So this FIR was registered in 2018. But after this SEBI report, the Central Bureau of Investigation expedited this particular investigation, and then after a series of interrogation of both Chitra Ramakrishna and also Anand Subramaniam, yesterday late night the Central Bureau of Investigation arrested Anand Subramaniam. So our sources in the Central Bureau of Investigation have confirmed to us that they have unearthed evidence showing that Anand Subramaniam created this particular ID, that is Rik Yajur Sama at outlook.com. This particular email ID was used for communicating with Chitra Ramakrishna. Chitra Ramakrishna, from her mail ID, she allegedly shared all the confidential information of the National Stock Exchange to this particular mail ID, that is this Yajur Rik Sama at outlook.com. So the evidence that the Central Bureau of Investigation has unearthed at this particular point of hour clearly establishes that Anand Subramaniam created this particular ID. Not just this particular proof that the Central Bureau of Investigation has. The agency has also managed to get two other proofs conclusively proving that Anand Subramaniam was this particular Yogi who was communicating with Chitra Ramakrishna through this particular mail ID. One, like I mentioned, that the agency has got evidence showing that he created the mail ID. Second, some of the mails that were sent by Chitra Ramakrishna were seen in the second email ID of Anand Subramaniam. That is the second conclusive proof. The third very important proof is that when the agency forensically examined the devices and also the mail IDs of both Anand Subramaniam and also this very particular the controversial mail ID, the agency has got some screenshot which conclusively proves that Anand Subramaniam was communicating with Chitra Ramakrishna from this particular mail ID. So the case is not just this. According to the Central Bureau of Investigation, though the SEBI got into this particular entire saga of how this Anand Subramaniam was hired in NSE, but the Central Bureau of Investigation has a bigger case in its hand. One, to find to unearth the bigger case, that is the co-location case. What is this co-location case? What the agency sources are saying is that from 2009 to 2014, a server was set up very near to this NSE server by the stock exchange brokers, wherein they were given a preferential access, that is the speed advantage in order to book and also in order to transact in the NSE stock exchange, thereby making a gainful profit for all the stock exchanges. But that also led to a huge loss to the stock exchange, and that is called the co-location scam. The Central Bureau of Investigation is probing into this particular case. What we are being told is that the agency is connecting this particular mail ID, the sharing of confidential information from Chitra Ramakrishna mail ID to this faceless Yogi mail ID. But what the agency sources are saying is that the information did not stop with this faceless Yogi mail ID. In fact, the confidential information that was shared by Chitra Ramakrishna to this particular faceless Yogi mail ID was in turn circulated or shared with the outsiders, thereby making them a huge profit in the National Stock Exchange. And that's the bigger case that the Central Bureau of Investigation is probing. So what we are being told by our sources is that after arresting Anand Subramaniam, after 4 days of questioning, Anand Subramaniam was arrested late last night, somewhere around 11:30 p.m., after which he was produced before the Rouse Avenue Court, that is the CBI court, today afternoon, where the agency has sought for 14 days of custody. What our sources have also said that Anand Subramaniam, to the judge, they said that he has no role in any of the scam, but the CBI has made a case before the court and CBI is looking forward for further custodial interrogation of Anand Subramaniam.
Right, Arvind, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. Former Chief Operating Officer of the NSE has been identified as the faceless Yogi.